Well, hi, Sinead Welsh. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Positive People Show. I am delighted to have you on here. This is so exciting. And just if anybody doesn't know me, I am Denise Devlin. I am the CEO and founder of Positive Parties, Training with a Difference. And Positive Parties is an inspirational, transformational, and motivational coaching and training company. And we deliver workshops promoting positive mental attitude and positive mental health in a fun party style environment. And during this whole lockdown, we've been doing it online, so you can get in touch if you'd like to do and access your positivity palette. We've been doing them for teachers, corporates, women's centres, student nurses. We can do it online, but we can't wait to get out there again because people just want to connect again, don't they, in teams and schools. So we'll hopefully be out there doing it again soon. And now over to you, gorgeous Sinead Welsh, who is, as I described her, a inspirational go-getter. And Sinead is here to talk about her life, where she gets all her information and her, I see you as a powerhouse. You're energetic, you're enthusiastic, you're just oozing all this energy, and you're just ideal guest for the Positive People Show. So I'm so excited that you're here. And I feel that you have so much to tell us. So just let's get stuck in. If you just want to tell us a wee bit about your background, Sinead, first.
Hello, Denise. Thank you sincerely for having me on today, my dear. I am buzzing about this. So everyone, hello, I'm Sinead Welsh, and I'm a social worker certified profession, and I specialise in child protection. So I worked internationally over in Australia for 10 years, working for the Australian government in all things child exploitation and abuse category. So the really difficult end of abuse, really. But someone needs to be the voice, someone needs to advocate, and I was part of that. So it was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I am a mommy of 3 gorgeous little kids, Erin 7, Regan 4, and Shannon 3. They are our world, they are everything, and they have kept me busy, let's just say. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a proud Tyrone lady as well. Have to get that in.
Up Tyrone, me too. Strabane and Fintona. So you're from Fintona, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Denise.
So Tyrone's taken everybody by storm now. I think there's this theme now at the minute about mental health and, you know, positive mental health and how can we help. So this is why it's so exciting about your Informed Minds app. And we met through, we're both doing Kim Calvert's TIR, Thinking Into Results. And of course, you were on there. I could just feel your energy and just see your smiley face. And you were just so excited, as Bob says, enthused about this, what you are creating. And I just thought, oh, I have to talk to this lady. So I reached out to you and I said, you were looking for ambassadors for the Informed Minds app. And I said, Sinead, I feel with my work as like a coach and an NLP master practitioner that I have something that I can offer you and your students. So tell us a bit more about that, like for people who are coming on now, because I've already had, when I put the post up, I had the lovely Marie McElroy, who is a lecturer, and forgive me, Marie, I know you're going to be watching the recording because you're teaching now. She's either a lecturer with Queen's or the University of Ulster. I'm not too sure which one. But she saw the write-up and she says, oh, I really want to see this. So there'll be people listening today that maybe don't know about the Informed Minds app yet, look, lecturers and students and people. So we want to get the word out there so that more and more people know. So tell us about how the idea came, how you got that divine inspiration to come out with this amazing creation that is, right now it's going to be taking Ireland by storm, but it's going to be global. We know it's going to be global. So.
Absolutely, Denise. Well, look, it all started with the idea, like every good business or every good thing does. So I basically got back from Australia 2017, had my 3rd baby, and then realized very, very quickly, Denise, that there was a major concern around mental health well-being here. And there was no discrimination. It wasn't a specific demographic, and it wasn't a specific gender or age. And of course, there's some more high-risk categories by means of sort of self-harm and mental health issues. But I felt that everyone I had talked to in a personal and professional capacity had a story. And that scared the life out of me, because I had brought 3 young little people. So I had Erin and Regan were born in Melbourne, and then I had Shannon here in Enniskillen. But I was thinking 2 things. How on earth can I bring my international experience, all the trauma-informed practice, all the cumulative harm, all of that absolute voice, advocate, and drive that I've got to help others by means of safety and mental health. And then how on earth can I prepare this country, this world that we're in, our community, to be better for me to bring up my 3 kids? That was my fear. So I rolled up my sleeves, thought, don't have a clue how to do it, but I'll figure it out. And then that's where the wonderful Kim Calvert came into play as well. Kim helps you sort of take an idea and get the confidence and the understanding around it. And for me, I'm a bit of a theorist, so I got straight into talking with really wonderful people in the sector. I surrounded myself with professionals, academics at Queen's, Ulster, and I co-authored a documentation that I call The Theory of Change.
Wow.
So it's a psychological wellbeing document that basically shows why early intervention works. So it's called a secondary prevention model. Wow. So that's 11 odd pages, that document, and a couple of appendices for COVID. But that's my bread and butter. That's when it comes to things that I do well around policies, procedures, clinical governance. So that's sort of the foundation of the app. Then we had like loads of other people. We had a personal family sort of inner circle incident where there was mental health concerns, there was drug use, there was suicidal ideation, suicidal attempt, gambling, both digital and in real life. So a surge of issues, and that particular sort of story that led to me to think, that's the target audience. I want over 16s. I want to help sort of 16-year-old students, but then adults as well. So that's how and Denise, I could have picked women, maybe with postnatal depression, because you and I know that I've had that before as well. Exactly, we've had a conversation about this, and I know we're going to explore it a little bit later. So you could help women, you might want to help men. There could be all sorts of different groups or organizations that I could have started with, but I went, let's just start here. Let's work with the colleges, let's work with the schools, the post-16, and let's work with the universities and the organizations that can help and get a big reach and get my relational app into their pockets, basically.
I get goosebumps now. You see, when something's the truth and something's amazing, my body just does that big, like the goosebumps, the God bumps up and down my body. When something's amazing and something's the truth and something like that, I feel it on my body. Oh my goodness. And I'm just tingling from head to toe. Wow. So how did you go about it then? Tell us, so you had this vision. You had this vision that you want to take from post-16, so 16, 17, where there may be A levels and going into, into college, leaving, going to the tech, and then going on into university or going into any kind of training, customer care, any of those kind of training, or an apprenticeship. So it's those years of just coming into adulthood, where, as we all know, young people, they're going out into the world for the first time. They're leaving home and they're going out, and it's to give them those tools and techniques that can help them. And this is amazing, because when I think back to when I went over to college, and I was in Scotland when I was 21, and I was sharing a house with a girl, and this girl, bless her, she had mental health issues going on. And I remember just finding it so shocking, because this had never been talked about when I was growing up. And you didn't talk about that. You didn't discuss those things. You thought, oh, there's something wrong. It was a real shock to my system that somebody could have this. So it's amazing now, because people know so much more, and you're giving all these young people now a tool that they can, and the amazing thing is that they can pick it up on their phone, because everything's done now so visually. That's what I love about this. It's hitting the market, because I know my girls are 15 and 18, and they'll not read something. They look it up on YouTube. They want to see it visually. So this is the wonderful thing about this. So if you want to explain a bit more now about the getting ambassadors on board and all that. Oh, this is just so exciting.
I know. Do you know what? I've been working on this for 2 years. So
Wow.
Denise, I wanted to do research in-house. So we've had student forums, we have had conferences, we have had Queen's Dr. Paul Best and Dr. Colin Walsh complete an independent evaluation study with students across Northern Ireland. Yeah. We've spoken to universities, we've spoken to counselling companies, and we've spoken to charities. So now we were able to pull together all of that data, all of that research, and create content that is what the audience want. So you name it, we are covering things like, say, and we've got the A to Z of what we're called figuring it out. Yeah. Because we're all, every day, Denise, I'm still figuring it out. So we've sort of just pulled it together to go, right, how can we make this attractive, super slick, speedy, but the best content that we can get relational wise in an app, in technology? How can we make the best use out of technology? And this is how I was able to transfer my knowledge into it. So basically, you've got your A to Z, and you might think of topics such as like alcohol, autism, and then bullying and belief, and maybe confidence and COVID and change. And D would be things like depression and disability, and E, your emotions, exams, F, your friendship, your focus. Farming is a big industry where we're working now, north and south of Ireland, with lots of organisations who really want to roll up their sleeves and say, we want blogs in here about what goes on and what the stressors are and areas of interest and concern for our farming community. So it's urban, it's rural people, and the response has been overwhelming. I've ended up now with, oh my goodness, I think we've got 43 ambassadors now, and that's people like yourselves, I know, that have just said, we want to go shoulder to shoulder with you, we're aligned with your vision, we love the concept of the app. So the way it works is, say someone picks up the app, okay, Denise, and they might have an interest or concern, say, about alcohol. Yeah. But that could be for themselves, their best friend, or even a parent. Yeah. It could be for someone else. So they're, number one, we're already getting them to start to look at their level of awareness. What are they interested in, and what are they concerned about? So awareness is the first step. So when they pick a topic, you can decide, you can come in and you can say, look, I want to look up alcohol, or I want to look up confidence. Or the serious situations cover lots of the more dangerous situations. You might want to look up cocaine. You might want to look up sexual risk. You might want to look at suicide awareness. You might want to look up trauma. And we've got the serious situations category as well. So it depends where you are on your well-being sort of scale. So you might want to just maintain and enhance, or you might be really at crisis point, and we can take you to a place there to get emergency support. In the section it's called I'm Not Okay. So that's what that section's called. So, and it's just blowing my mind, because the way it works is, so say you pick alcohol, just for an example. Scoot into alcohol, just click it. It's really visually cool. And what you'll get is, the first person you'll see under alcohol is a professional named Anne Moyer. So I sit on the British Association of Social Workers Committee, and there's incredible minds, academics, experts aligned and at my sort of access who are on the committee with me. Anne's Scottish. She's a beautiful Scottish lady, 20 years experience in addictions and alcohol. And she comes and gives her golden nuggets, her pearls of wisdom. It's not PowerPointed. It's not any of that really stiff, boring, dry stuff. It's literally her own wee outfit. She's doing a selfie vlog. We all do our own selfie videos. We're not in studios. We're just keeping it real. And she just says, look, come here, can I talk about some of the myths that I've came across? Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. And you know what? If you know more about them, maybe it'll make some healthier choices, or help you make some changes or safer choices down the line. And if it's not for you, it could help you advise and guide someone else. So it's just really applicable things, really gentle sort of information. So then you could say, right, there's my professional there, and that's great. And underneath, it's all written, so the different learning styles are met. You could have a vlog and a blog if you like to read. We know people like to read, or you might like to scan the key points. Then you might think, that's lovely, I want to hear from people my own age. And then we've got 18-year-old plus vlogs and talking about their own experiences. So it's very clinically governed, so we definitely keep it real, but there's nothing too deep. There's enough to kind of just say, this is what I'm worried about, and that's what you get. And then we took it one step further, and Denise, we've ended up now, so I didn't want just a hyperlink or a phone number for charity. I I want to demystify any concerns that anybody would have about ringing a charity and destigmatize that. So we've partnered with the national charities, and basically they're providing little blogs to kind of say, look, if you give us a ring, what you can expect is a trained counsellor will chat to you, or one of our trained volunteers will chat to you. You will be heard, you will be seen, you will be believed. And it's more likely then if you see someone, you'll be thinking, look, there's John, he works for Addictions NI or whatever, he's well dead on. You know, he's real. I might actually just give a call because I am concerned about something to do with alcohol. So that's what I'm hoping that we'll get. So that's the whole concept of they're the three categories. Yeah,
that's brilliant. And we'll have to explain to somebody who is listening outside Ireland that doesn't know what dead on means.
Really wonderful.
Wonderful, yeah, cool,
really
brilliant.
Wonderful.
We trust them, they're dead on. Yeah, I love that phrase. But you know, it just sounds amazing, and I can't wait. Now, when's the launch?
So we're just in the final quality assurance stages with Apple. Right. So Apple Store, Google Play, that's where the app will be available to the public. So we're literally in the final hurdles, Denise. As I say, we've been working on this now for 2 years. So I think about a week or two. I don't want to give an exact date because it's all divine timing. So I'm just going, look, I've worked on it for 2 years, and when it's ready, we'll get it there. But it's so close.
Yeah, that's brilliant. But you know what I loved as well about it? So I went to you and I said, listen, I've got material here that I can deliver, because using my NLP neurolinguistic program called behavioral therapy. And as you know, in Positive Parties, we deliver. That's why I was clapping when you said there's no PowerPoint, because that's why I found with Positive Parties, I saw that in the market of going out to deliver training, and at times when I would train anything, especially suppose about personal development and growth and well-being, a lot of it was a PowerPoint. And no disrespect to people who do PowerPoint, but it was a PowerPoint and people sitting, listening and taking notes. And then maybe it was a full day training. They'd go and have lunch, they'd come back, they'd kind of half fall asleep because it's like, that graveyard hour, they say. And then they'd go home and they'd put their notes in their bag, and they would, they wouldn't look at them again. So that's why I wanted to come in with something that was fun, that was upbeat, that it was interactive. And that's why I created Positive Parties, Training with a Difference. So I would deliver all these tools and techniques using NLP, CBT, positive psychology, but delivered in the form of a party. And it's amazing. People love it. I can't wait to get out there and doing it again. So the room's all set up like a party, and there's music, there's games, and there's tools and techniques, there's prizes. It's amazing. So when you're saying that people are coming on and they can see, and people are just being normal and being in their own homes, and I know I did my vlogs. One of them's with the cat behind me, and the other one's out with the chickens. And it was just normal. You're not sitting there in a two-piece suit with a briefcase going, I'm the professional here, this is what I do. The other amazing thing is that when I spoke to you first about what my vlogs were going to be, you got me to speak. I sent you a link of a couple of them, and you showed it to the student ambassadors. And it was up to, this is just brilliant. It wasn't the adults, but it wasn't you and your team just saying, okay, we know what young people want. You had these 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds saying, okay, Denise did that, we like that, but we want to change a bit of that. I don't think the young people are going to get that. Can you change it? And I must admit, at one stage I was like, oh, but that's the way I've always done. So it was great for me to get out of my own way and go, but I've always done that. It's not just for kids. We do this in corporate, we do this for schools, I do this for adults. But they were like, yeah, but the young people are going to think that's for kids. And I was like, okay, this is what you want, this is what I deliver. So this is so empowering. You got the young people in, and they decided what they wanted in these vlogs. So I had to change my stuff to adapt to do with the young people, which was amazing. And it was great for me too. It was a great learning, because you know what it's like when you're kind of running your own show and doing your own, you think this is the way I do it. So I had to adapt to the change. And the young people then, when I went back with, I changed it for what you want, they were like, yeah, Denise, that's perfect. We love it.
Oh, Denise, and it goes even one step further, because yes, they're the voice. I'm the channel, and I'm all the clinically governed bit, and I get the best, nice, empathic, kind professionals in. So as you say, if you're really dry and stiff and boring and you can't engage, well, then you're not going to make the app, because you won't get through me, and then you won't get through the student ambassadors anyway. But what we found, we had some young adults who really wanted to be change makers. They were standing tall, they wanted to be involved, but they didn't want to do a video. So we've ended up with the likes of Tess has came, and she had said, look, I want to be involved. And she said, look, I'm quite an overthinker, and how I express myself and remind myself around positive self-talk is my art. So under art, you will see Claire and Tess submitting their own art pieces that they've done and telling you what that means by means of their positive mental health. So we've got art in there. Denise, Liam, he lifts his guitar and sings a Let It Be song by the Beatles because he wanted to get his message across that music is his heart and soul. But he didn't want to do it talking, so he uses creativity in his music, and he explains underneath what music means for him. Reese, amazing. Reese does some moves and breakdancing, and he talks about masculinity and the bullying associated with being a male in the dance world, a male teacher. So we welcome creativity whatever way they want to express it. It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
It is amazing. Do you know, that's why, remember I talked to you about our eldest daughter, Emer, who's now 18, and Emer expresses her creativity through fashion. She just loves fashion. She does a sustainable fashion, and it's amazing. She's got, for her final project, she got clothes of my mum's, right, that mum was given to charity shop. And some of these outfits like were 35 years old, and she's made them. She's done a thrift, if I could say it, and she's created from my mum's clothing these outfits for her, and this is part of her project. So it's like, and then she did an interview with mum, and then she showed the clothes before, and mum like wearing some of the outfits to her wedding and one to like a Rotary dinner dance. And then Emer's got them now, and she did a photo shoot. And also I can see the way her, and she does a blog every Sunday night. And I've said to you, I must get Emer on to do something about that, because, you know, that is her every Sunday night. And she does it every week. She said I've got my blog tonight, and it's called The Goddess Guide. And last week it was about Crocs, because Crocs are back in again. And the week before, it might have been, I can't remember what it was about. So she sits down and she puts that up, and it's just like, wow. This, so that I'll have to talk to her again, because I've told her about this. So now that I'm talking about it on the show, I'll have to say to her, so that could be something, as you say, music, art, fashion, makeup, whatever your passion is, come on and talk about it, because she gets such a buzz out of doing that. And I think it's the consistency of it. She says, I'm doing this every Sunday night, and she does it no matter what, like.
And that's it, Denise. We want the message to be, you don't have to come on thinking that we're going to talk about depression, anxiety, suicide awareness, right? That is there, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more in the app to, I suppose, promote, to sustain a good mental well-being. And we have audio and visual stimuli as well in there. So there's 3 other categories that I didn't touch on, but basically they're the mind gym, where we say your mind is another muscle, and we need to work it out. So we work out our body, let's work out our minds. I've got to work it out. And then there's some activities in there for you. And then we've got raise my mood. So say you're feeling a little bit low, and we're not clinicians by means of a statutory diagnosis. That's not what the app is. But just if you're feeling a bit low and your motivation's, not as high as you wanted it, you can go in, get some audio and visual stimuli, some ideas around how to improve that from people your own age and from the professionals. Wow. So there's lots of bits and pieces in there for anyone. So it's everything from well-being right through to I'm really not okay. So and then a hidden in between.
And the thing is about this now, Sinead, is that the universities and the colleges are going to have this app, and then when the students start their new term, they are going to give it to them. So students don't have to buy it. Is that it?
Oh, my bottom line is students have it for free. That's it. Has always been. That's the only way that this will work, because that's the right thing to do.
Of course. Yeah. And is that going to be throughout the board? Like, will that be, that's Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, everybody's going to have? So all the colleges have bought into this?
Well, we're literally doing live demos, north and south, flat out. The diary's packed now because the app is ready for the live demos. But the the response that we've had is incredible. The educational establishments see the theoretical basis, they see the coolness, the innovative style to it, but also they know that we've got the student ambassadors involved. They know that the Queens have done their independent report on this, in addition to my report, and you know, it's just going from strength to strength. I'm so delighted to say.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And this is going to go, you know what's going to happen here. We all know the vision. I can feel it in my bones. This is going to like just really take off in Ireland, and then it's going to go, And then is that when you would think, I suppose that you should be stay in the now, like, but I always be excited about the big vision. Would that be then you would be going into each country with their own language? It's like if you're going to England, you're going to Scotland, you'd be saying, right, we want people from Scotland, we want people from England, we want people from Wales.
Absolutely. And what we're finding is the organisations and the education establishments are saying, you know, can we come on this? And we're like, we want you to come on it, because you could have someone sitting in Oma on a farm getting advice from Dr. Paul Best from Queen's on social anxiety. You could have the mix of the rural and urban lived and learned stories, showing you very loudly and very clearly, you're not different. Yes, we're unique, but everybody's going through something, and you can hear their story, but more importantly, you can hear that they got through it, giving you the hope to keep going to tomorrow. That's the whole concept. So yes, of course, we're working with Republic now to get some more lived and learned from down the counties down there. We've ambassadors already down there. We've ambassadors in Liverpool. We've ambassadors in Australia, where I'm dual citizen from. And so, you know, it's just taking it day by day, and that's how we just keep growing and growing every day.
Well, do you want to say something now? Because I know there's a few people, the people that I would know down south. Do you want to say who you're looking for now for Southern ambassadors in the Republic of Ireland? Who do you want to have down there? What kind of people are you looking for as professionals?
So we're looking for professionals and lived and learned. So if there's anyone over the age of 18, men and women who have a story to tell, now it could be a story of hope, success, celebration, or it could be something else a bit more that they got through. Maybe they were in an accident and they've recovered, or, you know, something to do with them struggling maybe around their mental health well-being. So it could be a positive story, or it could be something a little bit more sensitive. So we would have a chat about that. And if they want to be a change maker, if they want to be involved in this, the vlogs are only 3 to 5 minutes. Denise. We done research with a load of sort of 18-year-olds plus, and we initially thought 10 minutes was a great number. We thought 10 was great. Well, it wasn't. They were absolutely, they were not happy. It was like, it's too long, I'm getting bored, and their concentration span is shorter, and even mine shorter. Do you know what I mean? You scroll quick. So we want quick access, easy access to information that's cool and pertinent. You know what I mean? So all the vlogs are only 3 to 5 minutes. So you can go in, get a flavour of what's going on in the topic, learn a bit, hear a bit, gain a bit of empathy and compassion, and then pick out what you want. If you want to apply some of the tools and techniques, you take what you need from it. So that's the idea with regard to the lived and learned. And then the professionals that we're working with are everything from well-being sort of mindfulness practitioners right through to consultant neurologists, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, juvenile justice, Gardaí, PSNI, talking about drugs, different bits and pieces, or ex-officers that want to come on and talk. We're talking about suicide awareness. We're talking about farming issues. We're talking about friendship. We're talking about toxic relationship. You know, we're talking about everything on both ends. So we could be looking at confidence, or you could be looking at low self-esteem. They're both in there. It just depends on where the person is when they pick up the app, what they want, what they choose to look up. So it could be academics, it could be professionals in any capacity. If you have a message that's positive, that you feel you might like to have heard when you were younger, or that you like your adult kids to have heard, that's the idea.
That's brilliant. Well, I already have people going around here thinking that I can contact. So I'll make a wee list of that and get back. So I might even tag some of them after this, so that they can watch the Post People show. And right. So say like, or Emer's going off hopefully to university. Please go in Manchester in September. So I want her to have this app, obviously. So what happens then if, like, say there's parents here listening and our students, and they really want to have it, and obviously that university, they can go and buy it then. So where you can just go and
Yeah, so the universities will do a model where the young person or the students will get it for free through the university, and there'll be a setup agreement with us there. But as you say, we know parents are going to want to have a look at this as well. The content, you could have a parent looking up confidence in cocaine.
Yeah, of course.
For themselves or for their adult children. Of course, they could be looking up, emotionally abusive relationships, or they could be looking up success and faith and whatever it's going to be. So of course it's going to be suitable for adults to get as well. So what we're going to be doing is putting it in the Apple Store and in Google Play for £4.99. That's what's just a bit more than a coffee per month. So that's the way it's going to be. So you can have it, and the content's always updated. So if we know at the minute, drug of choice at the moment could be cocaine, which it is, but also spice is one of the new drugs, came in from the US. We're getting some stories. I've interviewed a few anonymous men around that, and they will be featuring things like that. So, coming up to Christmas and loneliness and different topics, we will be going with sort of the emotional calendar, that when maybe people are feeling that they need a bit more TLC, or they need a bit more information. So even the likes of the Nikki Graham, the public figure who passed away as a result of anorexia. Well, of course, we've already got vlogs in there. There's an incredible lady, Una Clark. She's actually a wonderful singer. She's actually composed a song for the conference as well. But also, she has written her own poem from her own experience. She's 28 years old, on eating disorders, and she calls it Dear Eating Disorder, and she recites it in the app.
Wow.
It is one of, I get goosebumps thinking about it. It is one powerful, beautifully presented vlog. It's just lovely. So things like that. So yes, the parents can get hold of it for £4.99 a month whenever we get it to Apple and Google, which should be in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. It's just fantastic. And then tell us about you're having, I know I'm involved in your mental health awareness week conference, which is now next week. We were all having a chat about public speaking with Gary Doherty and all the other night. So yeah, if you want to tell everybody about that's coming up now. Well, what date does it start again? I know I'm on the 11th, but
yes, so we start, so Mental Health Awareness Week, Denise, is the 10th through that whole week, but we're having the 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're having evening webinars. So what we've done is we've literally pulled in the best keynote and guest speakers that you could think of. Nearly every single one already feature a vlog or blog in the app. That was like a prerequisite, or else the vlogs or blogs are coming and have been promised. But we're covering topics such as addictions, abuse, trauma, self-image, mindset. We're looking at relationships, suicide awareness. So all that kind of stuff as well that's coming up. So it's going to be 7 o'clock to 8:30, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the evening. The tickets are £10, all for charity, just like we did it last year. So we're calling the conference Bounce Forward.
Brilliant.
So why bounce back when you can bounce forward? And that came out of one of the vlogs from the incredible Trish Duke, and she comes on and talks about her experiences. Trish is a wonderful lady. She comes on and talks about her life experience of suicidal ideation.
All right, okay. And these are going to be live too, because when we were doing it, though, they're not recorded. So I'm on, I think, on Tuesday at 7:30. So it's live. It's like a 10-minute live. Yeah.
Yes, and we're just literally, we've about 20 odd guest speakers and supporters for this. So we're just putting all our promotional material together, and that will be launched with the little link that you can, you can pay your £10 and get on every single day to hear everything. So it's just for charity, to raise money for mental health charities. It's just, again, the right thing to do, to try to get them a few pound. And then you can have access, and they will be recorded for ticket holders. So say if you get on, say, the abuse and the trauma, but you miss maybe a day, don't worry, we'll be sending out the recordings after, so you can catch up as well.
Right, that's brilliant. And of course too, in that week, will you be using obviously the opportunity to tell people about the Informed Minds app as well? And
I will, maybe just as part of the introduction, but I think it's not really a promotional event for the app as such. It's more the people that are speaking already feature in the app, I suppose. So technically, kind of, if I was a big marketer, it probably would be really a good way to do that. But it's more so to kind of just go, let's chat about this stuff. let's put it on the table. Let's get ourselves informed. The app's
Yeah.
called Informed Minds. So
Yeah.
that's the idea. And this is an annual conference I'm going to run every year.
Yeah.
And it's just going to go from strength to strength, and we'll roll up our sleeves and we will talk about the hard topics, but in a really gentle way. So that's the whole idea, that we're not afraid to talk about these things. They need to be talked about, and then we can make more informed decisions and hopefully safer decisions for ourselves moving forward. That's the idea. So I'm excited about it.
It's brilliant. No, it's brilliant. You're doing amazing. And then I wanted to talk to you as well too, because you'd put in your bio about having postnatal depression, and that is something I'm familiar with too. Because, and I as we talked about earlier, I think because we are quite extroverts in our personality and people and positive and all like that, I think it's like you can. I myself, when it happened to me, I thought, how is this happening to me? And it wasn't even with me. Emer was actually 10 months old, and I had at work. I'd gone back to work, and work was pretty stressful. There was just some stuff going on, and I remember going into work and kind of going in and shaking before I would get out of the car. And I thought, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And then I stopped with the health visitor, because I was still going to the breastfeeding support group like on a Friday morning. My work was still letting me to go out to do that. And she took me aside. She said, "Denise, are you okay?" And I says, "I don't know. I think maybe, I really don't know." And she says, "Denise, I think you have postnatal depression." I says, "But how can I have postnatal depression? I've really bonded with my child, Emer, and she's like 10 months now. And postnatal depression is like when you get it straight after the baby's born and you don't bond with the child." She says, "No, Denise, it's not. It's depression in the postnatal period. You've gone back to work. There's stuff going on there, and this is what's bringing this. And I was so shocked. And I was like, "But I can't have postnatal depression. I can't possibly." I was shocked. I thought it'll never happen to me. And I remember at the time, I could hardly walk down Strabane Main Street because I didn't even want to see people. Now that was like the opposite of what I would have been. It was like I knew, and I remember going to my brother-in-law's 40th birthday party. And usually I would have been right in there chatting to everybody, blah, 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 life and soul at the party. I took myself off, talked to the kids, hid in the garage at one stage, and I thought, oh my goodness, I know what it's like now for somebody who feels kind of quiet and introvert and doesn't want to be the life and soul of the party. This is what and it was just so strange for me. And I ended up then going to the postnatal depression group, which I remember people saying, "That sounds really good crack," but it actually was. And we did cognitive behavioral therapy, and we did it for 8 weeks. And you know what? I came out the other end of that a new woman. And one thing too, which I resisted, I did take antidepressants. I didn't want to take them, but I did just for 6 months. And I just thought, I'm doing this for 6 months. And between the cognitive behavioral therapy and taking a very low dose of those for 6 months, and then I went to the doctor and was off them after the 6 months, and I was back to myself again. So that was my story of the postnatal depression. Things that I would have thought before, oh, I'll never get that. Oh, I would never take something that's, I wouldn't want to take that. You'll be on it for the rest of your life. I thought if you took an antidepressant, you'd be on it for the rest of your life. That's all the stories that were in my head about it. But sometimes you just needed it to give me that way to sort out the hormones and just get back into it again. And with the help of the cognitive behavioral therapy and the support of other people, came back the other end. So what's your story on it?
Oh, I can relate to so much of what you've just said there, Denise, because I'm the most positive person I ever met, right? I already had 2 children, so how on earth at the birth of the 3rd could that even be possible?
Yes. Yeah.
And it happened. So I think for me, so I had my wee girl and then I had my wee boy, but I had my 3rd baby very close. So there's only a year and a month between my 2 little ones. And I think I just put so much pressure right here and in here. Yeah. That's what I feel I have done. I know in hindsight now, because I was so unkind to myself, never give myself a break.
Yeah.
I never was celebrating the things I was getting done. I was just like, you're not getting this done, you're behind in this, and the laundry's up to goodness knows what. And I just started to just think, all right, I'm terrible at this. I am not getting this right at all. So what I done, and this is just, hopefully now it's going to be more available moving forward, but I was part of Sure Start. I was going to, to the wee mummies groups and different things.
Yes, I know. Oh,
But
my lifeline too.
I know, and they were great. I was going to make them bread and all sorts of class things when the wee baby was next door, just to talk to mummies, to actually have adult conversation. So I knew I wanted to do that, to come and engage and talk to other mummies. But they put on this course called Understanding It's Normal by Support Together, a local charity, right? So it is one phenomenal charity, which I'm now vice chair lady of, I must add. And I signed up for that, knowing full rightly that it was about postnatal depression. Now, never once did I admit to myself prior to that course, or never said it out loud. No, I was like, not me. It couldn't be. It must be just a wee phase or something. It wasn't. It clearly was. I just was very, very, very hard on myself, and to the point where, I was like literally crying. I was exhausted. I probably was massively sleep deprived as well, Denise. The babies weren't sleeping. And then I went on to the course, and the way they delivered it, we had a bit of crack. It was with tea, with biscuits. They made us the tea when we got there. I was living the dream. I was like, this is great. And we started to look at it, and I was like going, these other mummies get it. It's not just me. My plate, I felt like I had 20 plates spinning, and my jug, they do the analogy of, your empty jug or whatever. I was like, oh my goodness, I was filling everybody else's jug. Would maybe forget to eat breakfast, was never even having lunch myself, or maybe making myself really quick convenience, rubbish, high sugary foods, but getting everybody else nutritious, delicious little things. And then I was like, Sinead, you've always looked after yourself. Don't stop now. Actually, now is when it's vital. And I learned that from that 6-week course. And they taught us as we went along little positive affirmations and just different techniques that you could apply to interrupt when the wee voice in here is being really nasty. And that's absolutely one of the best things I've done, getting into the community and just having a chat. I didn't delve too deep because there were strangers in effect. Do you know what I mean? But within myself, I went deep and reflected. I didn't say too much to everybody else because I felt like I didn't need to, but see the reflection and the work I done with myself.
Brilliant.
Really great. So then on our Support Together are a perinatal mental health charity based in Oma. Phenomenal. If anyone can support them, please do. Actually, that's who one of the charities are from my conference, because I just think if you can nurture the mommy, she'll do the rest with the kids and the family and the husband and the outer circle and the house and stuff. But if mommy's not okay, I just think it's mummies are the key. I'm a bit biased, okay?
Totally. I mean, that I loving your story here and about Sure Start and doing the course, because that's what I felt as well. I felt because I had gone into Sure Start, because it was Sure Start's health visitors said to me, Denise, you're not yourself here, and like I didn't want to admit it, like you. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. And but through doing the course as well and having the crack and having a cup of tea and meeting the other woman, like it was just amazing. And then after those 8 weeks that we did the course, and I could feel myself just coming back to myself again. And I'd given up the job then, and I decided to take a year out. And then I went to give my life coaching, and then I did my NLP, and then I set up positive parties, and it was just like from then. But I got involved then doing peer support for the breastfeeding support group in Strabane. So I was a peer support mum, and I sat on the management committee of Sure Start then for like about 5-6 years. It was about 6 years, and then I knew then, even when I was working with the mums as doing my peer support, I could then, because I had gone through it myself and I had been there, I could see the mums that were having a harder time, that maybe were just giving themselves that I could still, but beforehand I probably wouldn't have seen it because I would have been too la la la, I'm so positive, but I could see it. And so I feel at times we are meant to experience these because of the path we're on. Like, look, because you have been through that, and because I've been through that, how would we know how anybody has felt like to have that pressure, or have, postnatal depression, or be down? Because we have had to live it ourselves to know what other people are going through.
Yeah, and it's all part of life. I don't regret that part. I wouldn't change it. It's now made me, stronger. It's made me more empathic. Like, and I adore my kids, but there's still times where I'm like, I still need a break. It's still okay.
Of course it is. And that's what I think. I think Sure Starts is brilliant. And that's, I've delivered to so many of the Sure Starts around Northern Ireland, as for Carrickfergus, Belfast, Omagh. We did a brilliant one in Omagh a number of years ago. I think it's one of my ever favorite deliveries. We had like 45, and we were in that place, something house in Upper, what's it called, that hotel? Oh, I can't remember. Carrick House, and they were having a residential, and I did a full day positive party, and there was about 45 of them, and it was just an amazing day. But I loved, because it's just that you're working then with a staff team who I have been there. I have done all the, I've been a parent there with them. I've been through the, the postnatal depression group. I've been peer support. I've been part of the management committee, and you're working with a team that you just know everything that they do, and you know the amazing good work that all those Sure Starts do with those mums, and the kids. It's just amazing, isn't it? It's such an amazing organization. I just love it.
Me too. Absolutely fantastic. And you just want everyone to sort of be able to come back together again, but it'll come. It'll come.
Now, I just want to ask you this too. Here you are, this amazing entrepreneur that has this big vision that your app's about to get launched now in 2 weeks. And then the world is your oyster. Once it's here in Ireland, then it's just going to get bigger and bigger. How do you manage all this with 3 young kids? Like, I know when I was starting positive parties, the girls were young at the time too. So I had two young girls at the time. You've got 3 young kids. How do you, I know, because your kids and your husbands are your world, but how do you juggle? And how do you manage all that?
So I've got some angels on earth. It's the only way I can describe it. My mother and my mother-in-law, basically. So because I suppose we lived away for 10 years, they are just hearts overflowing to see or hear the pitter-patter of my wee ones coming. That's the only way that I can describe it, Denise. The grannies love my wee ones as much as I do, and they're wee skitters, but they're gorgeous. They're very cute. So my mom helps out for a wee half a days here, and then my mother-in-law helps out as well for the other half, and then we sort of tag team it that way. And then I kind of don't work Wednesdays and half day Fridays, because that's why I became my own boss, to be able to be around the kids, excel and focus and get things done on the days that I am working, and then chill, enjoy, get the house done, do my other mummy bits, get the shopping done, go for walks, and that's the kind of life I wanted to create. So that was lucky. And then, we're all in the one wee bubble, which is great. So I'm blessed that way. So yes, it's my family that has helped me, and they're amazing.
I know. And that's, I'm sure you can just coming, back from Australia, you can just see that just happening. Your family, because we're so lucky too. We have mum and dad on the doorstep, and they really helped out. And then Neil's mum's in Belfast, and she's come down at times as well and helped out. And it's just been amazing, to have family around to just to step in,
Totally.
So just so I know we're kind of about to finish up here now, is there any words of wisdom you would like to give anybody out there about starting up their own business, creating something, having the big vision and the big dream, and making it become a reality?
Well, look, my piece of advice is we have one life, and I've created now the way I want it, and some things have to be sacrificed. That's just the way it works, and some things are a journey. So it's taken me 2 years to get to this point. Now, I have never been happier. There's no doubt about it. Now, there has been times when finances has been an issue and a worry, but all in all, I'm happy. My mental health is good. My kids are happy, and everything will come to fruition when it's meant to. You just keep going. So I suppose that's my best advice, to say, create the life you want. Just be aware that there will be ups and downs, just like any other job anyway.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. But persistence is key, isn't it? It's that, because and last night, it was so exciting last night, because in TIR and Thinking Its Results, Bob was on. Kim got Bob Proctor on, and you asked him a question. So what did you ask him again? Remind me. Remind everybody else out.
Well, that was pretty epic that I had the
It was
chance to
amazing.
speak to him. So I had basically said, Bob, how do you measure success, or what does success look like to you, and how does your wife measure success,
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
what it was. And basically his answer was phenomenal. Now I need to re-listen to it and like script it and like frame it, write it down. But ultimately what he was saying was, the formula to success is the exact same for everyone. The definition is the same. So you've got your goal, and then you've got your action, or you're moving in the direction of the goal. When you achieve such goal, that's success. Now your goal could be to make an apple pie. Your goal could be to be a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
That's success to you. Whatever it means to you, when you reach your goal and you work towards it and keep going. And I love that. I was like, so my goal could be just, maybe eat more vegetables today, or it could be, secure the biggest contract we've had in the Republic of Ireland, and both are equally worth celebrating and a success. I was like, oh, I love that message.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And and having the faith, I think it's that knowing, like, because I'm sure when you imagined at the very beginning, you had this vision of this app that you want to create and get all these people on board. And it's like, when I started Positive Parties too, I had this vision, this is going to go global, this is going to go global. And then when I got my first licensee, and she's in Germany, I didn't think the first one's going to be in Germany. And when then I got the, Francesca sent me over the, the first marketing material that she done, and there it was like Positive Parties, and then all this German underneath. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Phenomenal.
And it's like with you, like now it's getting, there's more happening down in Ireland. It's bigger. There's more people becoming involved. So you've visionized something amazing, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. I feel like that now with Positive Parties, because I had taken a bit of a step back when my book came through, because I kind of gone down another path. But people who know me, the untold story, Peter and Jesus the Gap Year, so that's my book. So I had taken a bit of a step back. In the meantime, though, Francesca in Germany had come on, but I'm just like buzzing now to get it out there again. And the franchise hub were ringing me yesterday going, Denise, right, we need to get it out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, I can't wait to get Positive Parties to America. People need this right now. If the world needs now is like Positive Parties and the Informed Minds app. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. And that's what you've hit the nail on the head. The more positive messages and the different ways that we can interject, come together, keep going, collaborate, help each other, spread the positive mind, the psychology behind it, get people to really start to become aware and start to love themselves. That's what's going to change the world.
I know, of course it is. Yeah, it's all back to yourself, isn't it too? I did something with First Source yesterday. I'd done 3 weeks of their Wellbeing Wednesdays, and it was amazing having people from India, the Philippines, the US and the UK all there. And we were like, in my office, jumping and dancing around and doing all the lovely Positive Parties tools and techniques as well. I was like, wow, this is just amazing. And people were going, we love this. We can't believe we're doing this on a Wednesday afternoon, because again, of course, in a you have to, I don't use PowerPoint normally, but you had to use a bit of it when you were doing, it on, online. But there was getting people up to dance to Oops Upside Your Head. Like, and this was talking about being in your head and getting out of your head then and coming down into your heart and your gut and your thinking and your higher mental faculties, but doing it by getting everybody to sing Oops Upside Your Head. Oops Upside Your Head. It's amazing.
So good, so good. That's what people need. They need a different way to have fun and learn and just chill and have a giggle.
Yeah, and that's like I remember Einstein. There's a lovely quote from Einstein. He says, "Make it simple, and keep it simple and make it fun." And that's the thing too with your app. It's simple. They can go in and from anything, for something that like listening to, is it Liam playing his music, or somebody doing art, or like me out with the chickens doing one of my NLP tools, to somebody then who's like, I'm going to go deeper and I really need help here, but there's those both sides. But it's just being able to go into that is going to help them and just make such a difference in their lives.
Yeah. And I suppose I'll just finish with the whole concept is your small vlog in our app could be the keys to unlock someone else's little prison while they're sitting alone in their bedroom, offering them the hope to try again tomorrow.
Definitely.
That's it.
Goosebumps. Absolute goosebumps. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more about the app, or they want to have you on as a guest? Because I know you're doing lots of guest appearances now in shows. Where could people get in touch with you?
So you can email directly to the business email. It's informedmindsapp@gmail.com. You can find me, Sinead Welsh, on LinkedIn. We also have a Facebook page. It's called Kind Minds. So we're very much supporting all sorts of positive messages. So yeah, reach out. I can, maybe Denise, if you wanted to maybe put my email address at the bottom somehow, yes, when we share this, that would be no problem at all. So please reach out if you want to hear more about the app, or if you think that you might want to contribute and join forces and come on, please do.
Well, Camille, thank you so much for coming on, and everybody, thanks a million. We'll be back next week. It's the Positive People Show. Thank you so much for the wonderful, inspirational go-getter and powerhouse, Sinead Welsh. And if you want to get in touch with me about the positive parties, it's denise@positiveparties.com. We're still doing online. We're down to get out there again. We can deliver now our workshops outside. That's the amazing thing. We can do it as long as we have a link to, you know, to play our music and do our, we can do workshops outside at the minute before everybody's allowed in. But I think we'll be allowed into big training rooms soon. But this is what the world needs now, some positivity and some upbeat. And just to remember to everybody, we're not positive all the time. You know, I always talk about Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore. I have them here. You know, there's days we're going to feel like this, and, you know, we just have to go with that roller coaster. But, you know, we've got tools and techniques to take us back to being in the now, to being our Winnie the Pooh. And as Sinead and I have both talked there, you know, just because we're positive, you know, we have had times as well where we haven't been, and our own mental health has suffered, but we bounce back. But was it the mental health? It's called Bounce Forward.
Bounce Forward.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks a million, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.